Rao Top Court pronounces the split verdict on hijab. Split verdict on hijab in light of divergence of opinion. Karnataka High Court order remains in full force. No stay on hijab ban whatsoever. Samajwadi Party parliamentarian Sparks Fresh Rao says no hijab means misbehavior for women. Fresh trouble for Rana Ayub. ED News. Titans files prosecution complaint against Rana Ayub. Amidst Symbol Rao, Uddhav faction alleges foul play by the Election Commission. Is Uddhav nervous ahead of the by-polls? Days after reports of new BCCI chief Saurav Ganguly breaks silence, says everybody gets tested and rejected. Ladies and gentlemen, Rana Ayub is in fresh trouble. The so-called journalist has been now named in a charge sheet filed by the Enforcement Directorate. The charge sheet mentions a role in the alleged money laundering case wherein she collected money from the public for social welfare work, including COVID-19 relief work, but misused funds for personal benefits. And even as the ED investigation indicates that Rana cheated the poor and donors, the question is, why is the lobby silent on the alleged charity scandal? In fact, Rana Ayub has now put out a statement in which she says that she is in the United States. She's spoken about several issues, and she says it's ironical that the Enforcement Directorate files the charge sheet soon after that. Once again, a fact check. The Enforcement Directorate did not file the charge sheet today. In fact, as per the records in the court, the charge sheet was filed yesterday, even before her seminar actually began. We'll go threadbare on the burning question tonight. We'll debate this after the report.
In an FIR in 2021, a probe following it, and now Rana Ayub is in the ED net. Enforcement Directorate has filed charges against Rana Ayub in the charity scandal. As per the ED complaint, Rana received funds in the name of 3 fundraiser campaigns in her father and sister's accounts. These funds were used to create 2 fixed deposit accounts, and then in a bid to cover up and show relief work, she submitted fake bills. Enforcement Directorate's prosecution complaint says Rana Ayub launched these campaigns with the sole intention to cheat the general public. The ED probe suggests that Rana Ayub collected 2 crore 69 lakh and 44,000 rupees while actually used only 29 lakh rupees, cheating and transferring 89.3% of the charity money to her personal accounts.
The Enforcement Directorate says this in black and white. Rana Ayub launched the 3 campaigns with the sole aim of cheating the public and acquired the proceeds of crime in the form of FDs and bank balances and projected them as untainted. The charge sheet also goes on to say that Rana Ayub used these charity funds for her own personal use.
Rana Ayub is now accused of illegally acquiring funds in the name of charity, receiving foreign funds without the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act registration, and using COVID crowdfunding campaigns. In the dock, Rana Ayub is clearly in big trouble. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Joining us on the burning question tonight are Sandeep Ghosh, author and political commentator; Sujata Pandey, political analyst; Karan Verma, author and political analyst; Akshat Dera, the Hindu IT cell and also the complainant in this case; Vivek Srivastava, political analyst; Anirban Banerjee, political analyst; Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist. Starting burning question tonight is Sandeep Ghosh and Anirban Banerjee. Sandeep Ghosh, if I can come to you. Details of this particular case, some documents that I've accessed, Mr. Ghosh, indicates this. And imagine the situation where Rana Ayub, even today, in a statement that she has issued, once again is trying to mislead the entire nation by saying that, look here, I'm talking to the power, and that is the reason why That is exactly why I am being questioned. Now, take a look at this detail that I have, Sandeep Ghosh, with me, the document that I have accessed. Rana Ayub has essentially submitted information documents of the expense to the tune of 31 lakh rupees. However, after verification of the claimed expenses, it surfaced that the actual expenses were to the tune of 17 lakh rupees. Fake bills were found to have been prepared by Rana Ayub in the name of some entities to claim expenses on relief work. Now, that's exactly what the Enforcement Directorate has to say. In response, Rana Ayub says, I'm being targeted.
See, there are three things to this. First, let me start with the most innocuous thing. I think it's become fashionable in this country for a certain set of people, for even procedural irregularities or things for which you, me, or Karan would be immediately hauled up and probably even put behind bars. Anything happens to them, they immediately cry, this is an attack against liberty, attack against press freedom, attack against, speaking truth to power, etc. So as if there is an immunity. And how do they get that immunity? Because there is an ecosystem working around them who kind of ring fence them. As soon as they will go and hold a press conference at the Press Club of India, immediately you will find there are the usual suspects who line up there and give the same thing. There are certain portals and certain things, who themselves are into a lot of controversy just now about some fake emails and other things. They will get into the act. But most importantly, what is coming through as a clear pattern is there was almost an industry working in Gujarat. And the modus operandi is very similar. They have funding coming from one form or the other, either as an NGO or through these kind of grants. Ultimately, the money gets diverted for personal use, and and then they cry foul. They play the victim card. Now, this has to come to an end, and I hope the ED's case now is watertight, and they are also determined to take it to the final to a logical conclusion. Because this sort of drama has to end. Ordinary citizens in the country, they have all the rights, freedom, but at the same time they have to follow the laws of the ordinary citizen, be it of income tax, be it of FCRA, tomorrow you and I will go and raise funds through Keto and put it in a private account, or my dad's account, unfortunately he's no more, or my sister's account. And we say it's victimization. What kind of a joke is this? I'm not even going into other insinuations which has come through about people who were behind.
In fact,
yeah. Go ahead.
In fact, Sandeep Ghosh, it does not end here. You and I would be certainly concerned, but Anirban finds this extremely funny. Anirban, imagine a situation. You're raising 2.69 crore rupees by saying that there are people who are suffering in this country, saying that there is a pandemic, I need to help them, flood relief in Maharashtra, Bihar. And then what happens? Expenses were made for personal travel by air were claimed as expense for relief work. Does not end there. If everything was squeaky clean, then why come up with fake bills? You would say that all of this is concocted. You would say that the Enforcement Directorate is now coming up with fake bills in the name of Rana Ayub?
So much confidence on an agency whose conviction rate
why
is
shouldn't
less than
we?
0.5%.
No, 1 second.
Anyway,
conviction rate. See, Anirban, you just answer a specific question. Do you or do you not see a problem, or at least
yes, I am.
Flag it off? When you see that there is a campaign, right, wrong, etc., let the court decide that. But the fact, do you or do you not see a problem when you say that I am doing charity work and it turns out the charity is for whom? Not for anyone else, for yourself.
No, you're right. There indeed is a campaign where people will want us to believe that any allegation raised by the CBI or the ED are sacrosanct truth, We do not have to wait for the trial court. We do not need to wait for the trial to be over. We do not have to wait for the verdict of the trial court. Simply an allegation, a mere allegation raised by anyone, not anyone, a part of the BJP RSS ecosystem, we have to consider it to be sacrosanct. That is the campaign that is going on, Shawan. Rana
that's not fair, Anirban.
People like Rana Ayub,
come on. Let's not be frivolous. Let's not be frivolous with our arguments, Anirban. Let's not be frivolous.
No, why is it unfair?
It's not. No, it's not unfair. I'm saying it's frivolous.
This is an allegation.
I'm saying frivolous. I'll tell you why. I'll explain this.
No, certain facts are there, Anirban. Forget the allegation.
There are facts to it.
No, there are certain facts which are...
In fact, Anirban,
there are certain... Forget what ED is saying. There are certain facts also admitted by Rana Ayub. I repeat, these are not allegations. What Rana Ayub herself has said, first she had said something atrocious that she didn't have a PAN card. She said didn't have a PAN card, therefore she had to open the account in the name of her dad and her sister. Is this kind of, alibi which you and I can...
Okay, so...
This is on writing.
Rana Ayub has also said, why don't you consider them as well?
No, we are...
Fine,
first forget that.
You are considering her statement on this matter to be the truth, right?
This is an important matter. This is there are two... Did she have an FCRA permission?
Of course, this is an important matter. Who said this is not important?
Did she get
why not respond on facts?
When Rana Ayub's statement, you are considering to be the truth.
What I'll do is...
Why not consider everything that she has said to be the truth?
No, it's not... No, one second. The problem... I'll come to that statement. You want to hear what Rana Ayub had to say? I'll also read that out for you, Anirban, for your benefit. What is it that Rana Ayub had to tell the enforcement directorate? I hope you don't disbelieve that. It's Rana Ayub who said it. But let me also bring in Akshat. Akshat Deora is the complainant in this particular case. Now, forget about what the enforcement directorate had to say, Anirban. Hear it from Akshat himself. He's an ordinary citizen. Why is it, Akshat, that you smelt a problem in this entire campaign that she had started? Fundraising, 3 campaigns. Akshat, you were the first one, as I understand, who found something fishy about this campaign. What was it?
Okay, so we begin with the first fundraiser, which was somewhere in April, May 2020 at the peak of lockdown, where she comes in and she says that, I want to collect funds to help farmers and slum dwellers who cannot go out and earn their daily wages during lockdown. Now, okay, that's a very good something to do, very good charitable work. So people start donating. Now, at that time, obviously, even we were not aware of such FCRA rules that are there, that journalists cannot go and collect funds, but we didn't really bother with it. We were said, okay, it's a noble thing to do. Charities are good, so let her do it. Now, the first red flag comes when she starts, saying that she has helped 70,000 families with food and she has sent 10,000 migrants home. And she has also helped to pay medical and hospital bills of people. Now, all this is done when the collection is 1.25 crore. Even a basic math of helping one family with 100 rupees a day for a month, that's, it comes to around 21 crore rupees if you really want to help 70,000 families. Or even buying a 300 rupee ticket for a migrant to go home from anywhere in India to another place in India. For 10,000 people, it will cost 3 crore rupees. So this is a red flag. And this is where we started really thinking that, listen, this is not sounding right. Maybe she's exaggerating too much. And okay, so again, then now what happens in August, she started claiming that, okay, all my funds are over and I really want more funds. And this time I'm going to help flood relief victims in Assam. Now, again, she's collected 70 lakh rupees. And there are photos on her Instagram, on her Twitter, that she's packed 8 tons of relief material and she's sending everything out. Now, at the same time, she's also looking for a new house in Bandra. She's tweeting about it that, listen, I'm looking for a new house in Bandra. So that was my second red flag. Like, listen, how is this really possible in such a time when, everything is just going down the drain? You're looking for a new house in Bandra. it's not an easy thing to buy. Now this happens. Now
So,
the
you know
third
what?
problem, when the third. Sorry, yeah. So
Akshat,
the third
Akshat, make
fundraiser
your point.
happens.
Akshat, make your point. I'll also bring
the
in.
problem here is that we have.
Anirban, I'll bring you in.
so-
I'll bring you in.
and
There are
then
also
the-
other
the
guests who haven't
complainant
spoken.
here-
Now the
Let Akshat let Akshat at least put out the
Since
facts.
you said that Akshat
Yeah.
is a common
So-
man, he is not a common man. No, please don't refer to him as
Why?
a common man.
Some
That is my
why
submission.
Of
why
course I am
isn't
a
he a
complainant.
complainant? Can't be a complaint
Because he's part of the
come on,
RSS
Anirban,
BJP
come on.
ecosystem.
That's
He's not
being
a common
ludicrous.
man.
No, come on.
Anybody who
one
opposes
second.
the
That's
RSS
ludicrous.
BJP is part
Come
of
on,
the so-called
Anirban,
lobby.
if you have
anybody who
one
opposes
second.
the
If you
BJP is
have
part
your
of a lobby.
association, no, one second. That's not true. One second, Anirban, you may have your own affiliation. Akshat is entitled to his
No,
own
if we-
affiliation.
no,
Sandeep
according to-
everyone has, but everyone at
According
the
to
end of the day is
of
common
course
man.
he is.
no.
Of course, I am not saying
Unless
that.
there are political
I'm not
leaders.
saying he is not.
Yeah, I'm not talking.
But
I'm
if
not.
we are part of a
One
lobby.
second, Anirban, I'm not.
If we are
don't
part of a
mistake me.
lobby,
I'm not
he
talking
is also
about
part
common
of
man
a certain
politicians.
ecosystem.
No, one second. I'm not. I think so, Anirban. What has happened is that you are used to seeing a common man. Politicians, especially politicians who call themselves common man, and the very next day you see they are taking those chartered flights and going for political campaigns. Now, you may be used to that kind of common man. We are not used to it. The reason why I'm respecting Akshat is that
that was
Akshat
done
has
by the
at
BJP in
least spoken on
2021
facts.
elections. That was done by the
I'm
BJP.
not saying. I did not say BJP. You want to say BJP. You want to say.
That is
go
his
ahead.
allegation.
I'm only saying that Akshat is.
No.
You tell me. No,
We
allegation.
saw it in
My dear
2020 on
friend,
elections,
my dear
started
friend.
flights. We saw
Vikas,
it.
No, okay. I want Vivek Srivastava also to come in. Vivek,
So
Anirban,
the
I'll
third-
come back to you. I'll come back. Let others also come in. Vivek, you've heard what Akshat has to say. Apart from what Akshat is saying, there is one more thing. Let me just tell you. And I was completely startled. Because just before coming into the show, I've read about 200 pages of this entire investigation, and I want to just flag this off to all of you. Look at what has happened. She's admitted in her statement that she has given to the enforcement directorate. She said this, that large portion of the money is still lying unspent in the SEC's own bank account and also her father's account. She goes on to say, as a journalist, the SEC is not, the investigation is this, the SEC is not allowed to collect donations from foreign sources as defined in the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010. She has admitted that she does not have any clearance from the FCRA also. The fact of the matter, such a learned journalist, someone who is always globetrotting, and one should be extremely proud that she is associated with the renowned Western publications. All said and done, fair enough.
Also very
That should have
renowned
also
lawyers
made
and
no, yeah, of course.
Also
So why shouldn't one be a
lawyers and
law-abiding
people.
citizen? Absolutely,
She has the
Sandeep.
whole-
Vivek Srivastava, why don't you take that?
Let me now speak about it. First of all, it is very clear that let's not call Akshat a common man, and I'm also not against anyone
The
going
debate
for
is not about Akshat.
investigations into such work.
The debate is
Nothing
not
wrong
about
in it.
Akshat.
However,
Why would you target him?
This is
Now,
pure targeting.
The moment,
this is
the
pure
moment,
witch hunting.
No, the
it
moment
started
anyone.
with Teesta Stalwart.
Oh, come on, Akshat
it is
is now
ending
witch
up with
hunting.
Rana Ayub. It happened to Zubair, and it is happening. It's going to happen to many more. Anyone who raises the voice against the government, आप एक लेंस ले जाकर के पहुंच जाते हैं, यहाँ बैलेंस शीटें आप बना रहे हैं. You are making balance sheets over saying, and you are predicting, भैया इतना खर्चा एक घर में, इतना खर्चा एक घर में, so this has to be a fraud. Who are you? Who gave you the authority? What is this Hindu IT cell? What does the Hindu IT cell do? What is the constitution of the Hindu IT cell? Where does it come into picture? Why is Keto not complaining? There are many things. So this witch hunting needs to be over.
Okay,
Number
Sujata
one.
wants to also
if
respond.
somebody is wrong,
Sujata wants
whether
to
it is a
respond.
Congress person, a journalist,
Yes.
a communist, a BJP,
Only
you
when
think
it is
and
done.
there is
Tito has
nothing
also
wrong.
responded.
But here
Is he
it
done?
is
In
pure
fact, Tito has
hunting.
also responded.
A person of the
Is he
stature
done?
of Rana Ayub is
Yeah.
very clear.
Okay.
Rana
Okay.
Ayub is very
Okay.
clear
Okay.
that she is under the lens
Sure.
of the government all the time. And she is
Right.
deliberately
So-
not going to do something so stupid deliberately that
Okay,
she lands up
Sujata,
in trouble.
quick response.
We know how the ED is
You
treating
think-
us.
Can you just shut him up? Can you just shut him up, please?
Okay, Sujata,
I can
Sujata,
speak in between, yes.
Sujata,
So I am-
Sujata,
I am-
this gives according
I am
to
delighted.
Vivek Srivastava.
I am delighted.
No, one second.
I am delighted,
Sujata,
Shravan.
Sujata. What you do is, Sujata, my suggestion to you, Akshar, everyone, according to Vivek Srivastava, Anirban, all of you are now free. Please, after this show, go online, go to Keto and say that we are starting a fundraising. and fundraising to help Rana
Absolutely.
Ayub. Collect some
Absolutely.
money. Collect some money.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then,
And
go
not
to the enforcement
Are they
directorate.
there
Then go to the
fundraising
enforcement
campaigns
directorate
for
that
the
I don't
PM
care.
Cares Fund?
No, I don't care. No. Oh yeah. PM care.
Anil, you
PM
had
care
your
also.
time
The
now.
good
Okay.
thing. The
Shravan.
good thing is that on PM care also,
Shravan, I'm at least glad.
No. Come on. It is very unfair on Sujata. It is very unfair on Sujata, Akshat, all of you who are basically targeting Rana Ayub. She's been a very
Absolutely.
good law-abiding citizen because after all she has donated money to the PM Fund Care, and I'm given to understand
when
it
she
runs
was
into lakhs.
investigated by the ED after that. Okay, anyways, so I am actually delighted, Shravan, that nobody here in the panel supporting Rana Ayub recommended her for the Nobel Peace Prize after some, the fact checkers were recommended for the Nobel Peace Prize, because looks like with every person who's targeted or who's actually shown by ED with proofs that where they were lying, they had cheated people, they had created fake news, fake propaganda, and here you have proofs. They are supposed to be on the government radar. Thank God there is no election. Otherwise, somebody would have claimed that she is probably fighting for the chief minister position of the West Bengal, and that's why government is behind her. But having said that, this is not. I mean, nobody in the right frame of mind would defend a person who has on record. She had when income tax went to her and questioned her about the irregularities. She actually claimed that this was her money. She paid income tax on this money. So I don't know how Anirban or anybody else is defending this. Secondly,
Ashutosh,
this is
can
all
you-
accounted money. Nobody is talking out in the air. Every money is accounted. Miss
absolutely. No, Ashutosh,
Miss Ayub has got certain very clear charges. Let me just spell it out if they don't understand this much. Okay,
Yeah.
first is illegally acquiring fund from public, illegally acquiring fund in the name of charity, received foreign fundings without registration under FCRA, utilized from public for self, tried to pose these funds as untainted on numerous occasions, and questioning PM Care Fund by
Ashutosh,
calling it as a virus fund,
Ashutosh.
etc.
So-
COVID crowdfunding fund and Assam Relief
Ashutosh,
Fund.
just
used
imagine
for
a situation.
She's against
Ashutosh,
humanity.
just imagine a
Forget about
situation.
anybody else.
Why blindly? No, why blindly? Now, my question to Ashutosh is this: why blindly support someone, especially when you know that you yourself couldn't have actually done that? Do you really think, Ashutosh, you will get away by doing what she was actually trying to do? Do you really think you can do this? Or any other country? Forget about in this country. Could she have actually done this in the United States of America? She's constantly going there. She's gone to European nations where she's actually gone and said that, look here, the country that I'm reporting in is a horrible place to be in the first place. Everyone is being targeted, everyone is being persecuted, but Rana Ayub is still thriving. Rana Ayub is still getting 2.69 crore rupees. I want to ask you, Ashutosh, do you really think you have that? You could have actually afforded to have that amount in your bank account and park it happily? You think you would have been able to do it? Rana Ayub could.
So the difference between you and me is that I don't blindly accept what ED says. I mean, we have seen how ED is being weaponized, and after
But you will blindly accept what Rana Ayub says.
And income tax
No, but you will blindly
failed
accept
to
what
get
Rana
the
Ayub has to
desired
say.
result. PMLA proceedings have
But
been
you will
started.
accept what
against
Rana
them.
Ayub. No,
This is a
how,
fight
by
to
that
the
logic,
finish.
you are
Let's
blindly.
remember that.
If I am
Fight to
blindly
the
following the
finish.
enforcement
There is a
directorate,
full
you are blindly
video of
following
the
Rana Ayub. I am at least going by facts and logic. I am going by facts and logic. What are you going with?
So let's get to the facts first. One of the previous speakers was saying that she does not have a PAN number. What she had said was she didn't have the physical copy of PAN number with her, PAN card with her at that.
In the name of the digital
she
age,
couldn't have opened a bank account without PAN. So this is wrong information being given to public on your channel. Let's correct that first of all. And in this case, she was scrutinized by ED Mumbai for FEMA and Income Tax Department, which first asked her to pay the tax which she has paid, and her FD was given back to her, and that thing is with IT-80 now. So let's be clear on facts. The facts are that twice she has been probed by government agencies which have failed to deliver the desired result, which is to prove that she is guilty.
What do
So
you mean
this
by
now
failed?
MLA proceedings
one
have been
second.
started.
No,
and let's remember
one
what UN
second.
said about judicial harassment about her, and she's going to face that. I mean, it's a fight which started in Gujarat, and
How
it's
is
not
it?
going to end anytime soon. And
Okay,
the lady
now,
before
just,
was
Ashutosh,
talking
just
about
tell me.
elections. Yeah,
Okay,
elections are due in
if I
Gujarat.
if I was
So
in
maybe
if I
now,
one second.
she's
Karan,
the next
okay,
stage.
Karan, just for a moment.
It's a problem arises when the people
Anirban, I'll give you.
start
Let me bring in
use
Karan.
government
Let me
machinery
bring in
to
Karan. Then
persecute,
Anirban, I'll
hound,
come
and
back to you.
suppress the
But
dissent.
I just want to ask you. I want to just ask all of you who are supporting Rana Ayub. I have nothing against her, but I'm just simply saying this. Okay, for a moment, if I have to accept Ashutosh's argument that she is being harassed because she was, she's raising concerns about the government's
That's
function.
what the UN said.
That is the reason why she's being... Okay, now, one second. The allegation against me, if I was in her place, if today I was told that I am submitting fake bills, I am trying to forge everything, or if the enforcement directorate was not hearing it out, if they were basically concocting, I would have come out in the public and shown them that, look here, I have nothing to hide. This is the amount of money I've received. This is the amount of money I have spent. Karan, please tell me, if someone is harassing me, if I have nothing to hide, will I or will I not come out in the public and tell the public? Because this is not her own personal money that was taken from the public. So she would have been accountable to the public. Forget about being accountable to anyone else, but she's accountable to those who have donated in good faith. In good faith, they have donated that money. Shouldn't she come out and say that, look here? No, what has she said? Look at her statement. Karan, respond.
Shravan, please allow me an uninterrupted minute. I've patiently waited. I want to set this in perspective. And you know what? Not the ED, not the income tax. Actually, Rana Ayub has exposed herself by her litany of lies during the investigation. And I'll point them out one by one. In the income tax order of the 4th September 2021, it is clearly stated that she had got 80 lakhs of foreign currency, which she denied initially. She denied, later she admitted, and she had to return that back. So it's a lie that was caught. Then she said she has spent 70 lakhs for relief. When Keto was emailed about it, they said 1.25 CR. Turns out in the end, it was just 28 lakhs. Then another lie. She said there were no personal expenses, thus she is not liable to pay income tax. In the end, she said, fine, I'll pay income tax, I'll pay 1.5 CR. In the end, it was found it was not 1.5 CR because much of it was from her personal income. So again, a lie caught. She has lied about income tax. She has lied about personal use. She has lied about foreign currency. She has lied about the invoices. She initially gave the bills of 34 lakhs. Claimed 40 lakhs. In the end, it was found out to be only 27 lakhs. And the two companies, Manisha Traders and Pooja Supermarket, all the entries did not match with their corresponding entries. Now, this is coming from her lies, whether it's the income tax order of 4th September 2021 or the ED findings. So it's been 1 year since this FIR was filed in Ghaziabad. Why hasn't she got it quashed? Why did she get it quashed when her assets were seized by the ED in February 2022? Fact is, she knows she's caught. That's why she's lying one after the other. Neither Anirban nor Mr. Ashutosh can rebut me on these facts because they are out there in the public domain. There are documents which back her lies. And she has tried to, lies has many versions. She has tried to course correct, but she's getting deeper and deeper in this abyss because she knows the truth is not on her side. And she has given charity a bad name. In the end, she said 75 lakhs are parked in the PM Care Fund. Can you imagine she believing in the PM Care Fund? And she had an agreement that this was not supposed to be going in the PM Care Fund. It was supposed to be for the welfare of the 2,000 farmers in Nasik and Latur. As per the agreement with Keto, she is not supposed to be giving this in PM Care Fund. She has lied and violated norm after norm. This is a watertight case, and I expect a conviction and the harshest action to be taken against Rana Ayub for this.
I think so. Anirban wants to make a quick response. Anirban,
Can I ask him a question?
You've heard everyone.
Just give me a minute.
No. Why don't you respond?
No.
Okay, Ashutosh, you take it first. Ashutosh, take it first.
To listen to what I said.
My single-
Rana Ayub has challenged the income tax order in IT-80. So Karan wouldn't have said this if he had carefully listened to what I have said. Now,
I will rebut it. Can I just...
And so that it's still with the appellate authority where it has a tribunal where it has been challenged, the income tax order. So his saying that her paying income tax is self-indictment is incorrect. She has just done what Income
has
Tax
paid.
Department
I will
has
correct you,
told her,
sir.
and she might get refund for that. If she wins, she will
She
get
will
the
not.
refund for that. So
She
let's
will
be
not.
very clear.
Because- let me answer
He is
you.
unaware
Let me
of the
answer you,
second
sir.
part, or
Let
he
me
is
answer you.
in fact not telling it in.
Let me
Rana
answer you.
Ayub has challenged that order, and that it's still with the appellate authority.
It
First
has-
of all,
no.
and then
She has
the problem
paid-
here
she has
is
said-
that we
Now,
are
can you hear me? Ashutosh
presuming
ji, you asked a
the person
question.
to be
Let me answer
guilty
you.
and not giving. She has been proved. She has proved her whatever she had to before the Income Tax Department and ED before. So why
Income Tax
jump to the
Department has
conclusion
said that the
and be
1.5
the judge,
CR
jury, and
income tax that
executioner?
you paid, 88 lakhs was from your personal firm. So she has yet not paid the
You
1.5
you are
income
just
tax.
repeating the same fact
I am
again and
telling you
again
what
because
she
you are
has
not
said.
listening to me. She
I am
has
listening to you.
challenged the
Okay,
income
Karan,
tax
quick response,
department's
quick
order
response.
that it was her
Back on
personal
your
income.
face.
She paid the tax.
Ashutosh,
but she has
Ashutosh,
challenged
you've
it.
made a point. Anirban wants to
let me
comment.
answer.
Anirban, make a Karan. Why don't you take both of them? Ashutosh has already made his point. I want Anirban wants to ask you a question. Take Anirban's question also.
Yeah. I just want to ask him that he is the presiding officer of which trial court in India? The way he is presenting the facts and spelling out his verdict, he must be a judge in some court in India. I want to know the court's name.
No, come on, those facts. Those
Honorable
facts.
Judge
Why don't
Karan
you? Okay.
Verma, in which court are you the presiding officer?
No. One second. No.
I'll just say two
Sandeep
things,
Ghosh also
Shravan.
wants to come in. Just 1 minute. 1 minute.
Just 2
Karan, before you take both, Sandeep wants to make one point. Sandeep,
Two
are you a
two
judge
quick
of any
points.
particular court? You are in a beautiful place. You are in a beautiful place. Are you a judge there? Because I think so. Anirban
don't
thinks
want-
everyone here is a judge. The moment to talk about facts.
You don't need to be a judge. You can only
Because
present
the
facts
trial
and
is
let
going
your
on.
audience. No, let the audience
There
draw
must be
their
a
own
judge here.
conclusion. Anirban. Now, Ashutosh ji, I
So
just want to respond two
we
things.
don't need courts of law, right?
Come on, let him
No,
let
this
him make
is-
his speak. Let him
We
make
are
his point. Let him make his point.
People
Media
take-
trial will do.
No. So,
Okay, Anirban,
Ashutosh
let
ji,
him-
2
let
points.
Sandeep also respond.
If you don't have your PAN physical copy today, I suppose Rana Ayub was knowledgeable enough to hear something like a DigiLocker, which under the IT Act considers that to be as good as hard document. She could have produced her PAN from there, and she has got lots of people advising her. Number two, which stupid person is going to donate to her to in turn donate to PM Care Fund, when if I donated directly to PM Care Fund, I would get a straight tax deduction, which I will not get if I have donated to the so-called NGO of Rana Ayub. Somebody must be very stupid to donate 80 lakhs of rupees. So all these things don't add up. And she is really, putting herself tying herself in knots by saying one thing after the other. And let's not be naive. Let's not talk about ED's conviction. Tomorrow she can go to Supreme Court. That doesn't mean what is being said today doesn't hold. She can go to Supreme Court, or I don't know, she might go to US Supreme
Just
Court.
one
being
last
there.
word. Okay, just.
So,
Okay, Sandeep, I'm really running short of time. I'm sorry to interrupt
go
you. I'm
ahead,
very
go
sorry
ahead.
to interrupt you. Even others.
not at all.
Karan, just a quick response. 30 seconds, Karan. I'm really running short of time. I apologize to all the other guests also. We don't have much time today. One last word from you, Karan.
To be a judge, one just needs to be a vigilant citizen and see a lie. When you have different versions coming in front of the
desperation.
income tax,
You can see
or
the
when you have a
desperation
different
in
version.
their
Please
arguments.
moderate him.
When they
Please
start
moderate him.
calling people who are donating
You
stupid.
have different
That's
versions
the
in
height
front
of
of the IT,
desperation where
different
they
version in
want to
front of
prove
the ED,
the other
and
person
then you own
guilty.
up your lie.
It is a wrong
Then you own up
approach,
your lie.
and that is
To
what is being
Mr.
questioned.
Ashutosh's question,
Under law,
when he said
everybody is
about the
innocent
income tax,
unless
I have the
proven
figures in
guilty,
front
and that
of
has to
me.
be done in the court of law,
have to please
not by
moderate him,
public
Shravan.
trial, not
He's talking
on
gibberish.
TV. That-
All gibberish, no facts. He has not been able to give one fact. He asked me a question about the income tax paid. 1.5 CR was
You
paid by her.
go
Out of
and
which-
find out it has
of which
been, the case is
89
still with the
lakhs,
appellate
you have to
tribunal.
check him.
Please don't try to mislead the
89
publicly because you just have the last word.
55,000,
You can't do that. The case is with the
was paid from
ITAT. When the
Substacks Inc.,
ITAT
which is
order
her
comes, then
personal
and again,
company. I am giving
only
you
then
hard facts.
will we decide
Mr.
what is
Ashutosh, you have
right and what
nothing
is
to
wrong.
say. You are exposing yourself by your intellectual bankruptcy.
No,
and giving
you
no
are
facts.
exposing yourself
Okay.
by being unaware of facts and then trying to
Okay,
pass off
I'm
your
really running short of your
knowledge
time.
as a fact. That is
Karan,
the
Karan
problem.
and Ashutosh, you can
That is
continue.
what
In fact, both of you, the debate is going to continue. Gentlemen, Akshat, I'm really sorry. I wish I had more time to bring you in, but apologize. We're really running short of time. But thank you very much, Sandeep Ghosh, Sujata Pandey, Karan Verma, Akshat Devra, Vivek Srivastav, Anirban Banerjee, Ashutosh Mishra for joining us on The Burning Question.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
From an emerging economy, now the fifth largest economy in the world, India has seen exponential growth in the last 8 years. The preferred investment destination of the world now has a goal: mission superpower. Union ministers, bankers, investors, policymakers, thinkers. Republic Media Network proudly presents the second edition of the India Economic Summit this October 14th only.
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
The world supermarket. The world is ours for the taking. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
Last year, we were all geared up.
This network is proof that everything in India is greenfield. Is it time for the Republic Network to do a spectacular spectacular intervention in global digital news media or not. It's my passion project. So that is our consecration to making India a superpower.
Now India has a clear goal, Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
In view of the split verdict on hijab by Supreme Court on hijab ban, the Apex Court has directed the matter to be placed before the Chief Justice of India, Justice UU Lalit, for appropriate directions. Karnataka Education Minister BC Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that
a split verdict in the Supreme Court. The one thing that needs to be understood is what is going to happen ahead. Is there going to be a larger bench? All several questions we're going to be asking with one of our most favorite lawyers, a senior advocate in the Supreme Court and Queen's Counsel, Mr. Hari Salve. Mr. Salve, as we welcome you on the show after very long, the first thing we want to ask you, sir, the Solicitor General made several arguments in the court appearing for the Karnataka government. One of them was political, but it was very pertinent that PFI, which is now banned, was actually behind the protest that broke out in February.
Why am I not surprised? There's a underlay of all this, of orthodoxy, and these are all strands of the same thread. So I'm not surprised. And then elements like PFI prey on opportunities like this. So
yes. Sir, when we come to the essential question of hijab, there was a statement made in the Supreme Court by senior advocate Ahmadi when he said, if hijab is not there, the girls will not be allowed to go to colleges. Isn't that the very question, that the problem is the orthodoxy that's being seen with women?
See, to my understanding, prescribing a uniform from time immemorial has been the prerogative of a institution as long as it is reasonable. Should there be a uniform is a matter of policy. Can there be a uniform is a matter of law. And as a matter of law, there can be uniform regulations, especially at school. There is a strong argument for diversity. There is a strong argument for allowing certain elements of appearance or dress which mark your religion. That's a matter of policy. As a matter of law, if something is essential to your religion, that is protected. Analogies are misplaced. You can't say if a Sikh is allowed a turban, why is some other community not allowed some other form of dress? So you have to go to the principle, and the constitutional principle is it essential for professing your faith, or is it a matter of secular? Now, if you're going for secular education and you're asked to wear a uniform, I don't see, unless it is established, and I don't know sufficient details of what material was placed to show that wearing a hijab is essential to the religion of a Muslim. I mean, you have Islamic countries where women don't wear a hijab. So, I don't know. But this kind of an approach saying, we will not bend, we will not allow our daughters to study unless you change your rules. I hope this does not ever prevail as a legal argument.
So we've spoken to several Islamic scholars, and they've said that hijab is not an essential religious practice in Islam. On the basis of just documents or analysis, can this happen? Because I remember B.R. Ambedkar had once stated that our Muslim sisters also need the right to have equality.
See, I'm not a scholar of anything, and least of all Islam. So I would not comment on what is the essential religious practice. Speaking for myself, at heart I'm a liberal, and I personally believe the sooner we move away from this kind of a system and move more to assimilate society, which is the need of the hour, it is better. But then that's a matter of policy. That's my personal belief. Whether as a matter of constitutional right a hijab is protected is a matter of constitutional law, and there I believe Justice Gupta has taken the view that it does not. I have not read it, but I believe the dissenting judgment says this will take away the child's right to study.
That's right.
So tomorrow, if there is some other unreasonable demand made by a community saying, if you do not allow this, we will not allow our girls to go to school. Tomorrow, and I'm just running the extreme point, somebody says, unless you make a particular language compulsory, we will not allow our girls to go to that school because our girls must be taught that language, and if that is not the primary language, we will prevent our girls from going to school. What will you do?
Yes.
So this kind of an argument, it's an argument, there's a phrase for it, it's an argument in terrorum. You can't, speaking for myself, I don't know of any legal principle by which somebody can put an impediment. A girl should have a right to freedom of expression. If a girl wants to wear a hijab of her free will versus saying our girls will not be able to study are two very different things. I would love to go to a formal place in jeans because that's my favorite attire. Can I do that? No. Can I walk into a courtroom wearing shorts? No, I can't. Why? Because there is a solemnity. So a particular sense of dress has always been considered relevant. And in a school, a uniform is considered from times immemorial relevant. In that, if the policy of the government is that we must do away with all differences between students and they must all dress the same, unless there is a religious compulsion, I do not see on what other legal principles such a policy can be challenged. I repeat, should there be such a policy is a matter of policy. But the legality of such a policy is entirely another matter.
Yes, Mr. Salve, I remember you in the Jadhav case, and I'm just taking a deroute here because I remember your arguments even there in The Hague were extremely clear and they were on legal facts. Even now you've come to the butt of the matter, that is wearing a uniform that is prescribed. I also remember the Lal Batti case where you very famously ensured that the VIP culture goes out. For Muslim women who want similar equality that is there in Iran, they want this anti-hijab revolution to happen, how can we take this forward?
See, that's a matter of the community. That is a matter for the community. But if a government says, I am going to help by not allowing a particular uniform or prescribing a particular uniform, unless you go deep down and establish that it offends against the essence of a religion, I don't see any constitutional principle on which a government can be prevented from achieving this.
And my last question, we've seen the triple talaq case which has been struck down in India and women have been hailing it. Whether it's other cases where the right to pray has to be given to women, isn't it also time that they are liberated from something like the hijab, which is not even an essential religious practice?
Rhythm, I remember from back in the day when I was arguing the minority rights case. I remember reading in the Constituent Assembly debates, there used to be a very, very senior member of the Constituent Assembly from the Islamic community. He was so senior that they would allow him to sit and speak. I'm forgetting his name. And he had proposed to Ambedkar that you must have an express bar in the Constitution against any member of any community wearing clothes which identify himself with his community. Ambedkar said these are matters which society will develop. We cannot bar it constitutionally. I think in today's time that will make interesting reading.
Yes. And so lastly, I want to ask you, a lot of people are talking about secularism and religion. They say religion has to, the country and secularism has to be there despite religions. Religion has to be tolerant. But we can't make this a religious issue here.
See, secularism and religion have no tension, unless you want to use religion as a vote bank. Religion is a matter of my personal belief. Secularism is, in secular affairs, the state is religion blind. And there has to be, I've always felt there has to be this thick brick wall of China between the state and religion. And as long as we follow that principle, secularism and religion have no tension.
Do you think any parties are trying to take this issue forward for religious?
You ask me a political question and my answer to you for the last decade has been, don't ask.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Salve, for being with us. As always, it's a pleasure and we hope you lots of success and hopefully you're back on an interview with us soon.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
2021, the Indian economy was all geared up.
We are headed for greatness as a nation. We will be a superpower. If there's something that I want to see in our lifetime, it is to have our best living years as a citizen of a superpower.
Now there's a new goal, Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women's are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
From an emerging economy, now the fifth largest economy in the world, India has seen exponential growth in the last 8 years. The preferred investment destination of the world now has a goal, Mission Superpower. Union ministers, bankers, investors, policymakers, thinkers. Republic Media Network proudly presents the second edition of the India Economic Summit. This October 14th, only.
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women's are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
The world supermarket. The world is ours for the taking. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
Time to once again action our
late night that when fire broke out in the bus stand area of the Banihal that falls in the Ramban district.
Gopal Italia, the Aam Aadmi Party leader, chief of Gujarat, has been finally arrested now.
When the attacks actually took place in the capital city of Kiev, they essentially said that drones that were supplied by Iran.
TMC MLA Manik Bhattacharya has been arrested by ED in the recruitment of primary teachers.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating Mahakaleshwar Temple Corridor in Ujjain.
Major debate after split verdict on hijab case.
बेपर्दा होकर बाजारों में गलियों में न घूमें। इससे चूँकि हालात बिगड़ते हैं, आवारगी बढ़ती है।
Hijab ban to continue for now. Why polarize over it? Debating at 9 p.m.
It's the Diamond Jubilee of the Indian Air Force and celebrations are on at Jammu and Kashmir.
2 women in Kerala were murdered and buried in a horrific case of human sacrifice. Over 200 families in Assam's Dhimaji district have been affected by floods due to heavy rainfall.
Late night that when fire broke out in the bus stand area of the Banihal that falls in the Ramban district.
Gopal Italia, the Aam Aadmi Party leader, chief of Gujarat, has been finally arrested now.
When the attacks actually took place in the capital city of Kiev, they essentially said that drones that were supplied by Iran.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Century Ply and CAF Appliances.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. I will not comment on the Supreme Court split verdict in the hijab case today. We must not, because India's highest court will eventually decide on the issue before a larger Supreme Court bench which will deal with that issue, and we must all respect that process. So there will be no comments and not required on what the Supreme Court split verdict really means. But I will ask tonight, and I will say tonight, and say again tonight with all the conviction at my command, that the hardline elements in this country who are trying to insist on Muslim women wearing the hijab,
they are misusing the card of individual choice. They don't really believe in it. They don't believe, ladies and gentlemen, in the principle of individual choice. They believe in the contrary, on imposing their views on those who deserve to have a choice, a real choice, to whom the constitution and the legal process in this country gives them a choice from the day they are born in this country. And viewers, I have one more thing to say tonight to people who say that in India, the hijab is being banned. What fiction? They say the hijab is being banned. I ask them, and you should ask them too, do these people want to ban school uniforms? Do these people want to ban military uniforms? Do these people want to ban police uniforms, ladies and gentlemen? What should people wear what they want in school? Should people wear what they want in the defense forces or as paramilitary personnel? It makes no sense. I believe this is a bogus argument. This whole argument is bogus and completely contrived. And with you on my side, hopefully tonight I shall prove that on the debate this evening. I have two debates and a very special guest. After a split verdict on the hijab case in the Supreme Court, the hijab debate just became bigger. That's debate number one. At 10 o'clock tonight, India's leading legal eagle, Harish Salve, speaks to Ridhamanand Bhardwaj on the hijab row at 10 p.m. That's a debate exclusive. And viewers, shocking details of the ED prosecution complaint in the Rana Ayub case. She's at the center of a dirty charity fraud scandal. Big revelations. Why is the lobby silent? And that as well. And viewers, just want to remind you that tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, starting 9 o'clock in the morning, India's biggest business and economy conclave, live coverage will be here on Republic. And here are the headlines. This Thursday evening on the debate tonight.
If a girl wants to wear a hijab of a free will versus saying our girls will not be able to study are two very different things.
Two-judge bench of the Supreme Court delivers a split verdict on hijab. Justice Hemant Gupta dismisses the hijab plea. Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia says it's a matter of choice. Hijab case now set to go to the Chief Justice of India. For now, the status quo.
इस्लाम के अंदर मतलब ये कि जवान बेटियां और जो है वो है औरतों के लिए हिजाब का हुक्म दिया गया है कि वो बापर्दा रहें.
And the hijabs are mandatory. Conundrum has begun according to the Samajwadi Party MP. No hijab equals misbehavior for women. Received the funds in personal accounts in the name of fundraiser, got FDs made, massive allegations in the ED charge sheet against Rana Ayub. And as the truth comes out about what Rana Ayub has done, the self-styled sympathizers of the self-styled journalist and Lutyens go completely silent. AAP's Gujarat President Gopal Italia stages drama at the NCW, gets detained and later spins a new angle to cover up his abuse. The hijab row has become a raging global debate. In India, it's a huge political debate. It is an ongoing social debate. And now with the split verdict in the Supreme Court, it certainly is a legal debate. The final judgment on the matter will be based on the decision of the Chief Justice of India. And ladies and gentlemen, for now, though the questions are many, can those who call hijabs compulsory then use the matter of choice defense? Can those talking about hijabs being a choice then condemn a secular restriction? Can those who call themselves progressive take a dual stand on the issue? Viewers, you and I must debate.
The hijab verdict from the top court today is a split, divergent decision from two judges. What this means is it's still not decided whether uniforms are going to be prescribed in educational institutions, and this question shall continue to remain till the Chief Justice of India gives appropriate directions.
Justice Dhulia respectfully differs with his opinion, and he has based his judgment on the ground that a girl child faces a lot of problems while going to schools and colleges, and he has allowed all the petitions, set aside the GO passed by the government of Karnataka and set aside the order passed by the Honorable High Court of Karnataka.
विद्यार्थी हैं जो गर्ल स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनकी क्या उनका जीवन हम इस जजमेंट से किसी तरह आसान गया?
Justice Dhulia effectively read out, or whatever, he didn't read out, but effectively told the court as to what his reasons were, and he said that what has weighed with him was the fact that girl education in this country is still a challenge, and a restriction such as this will only further that challenge.
Two judges at the bench, Justice Hemant Gupta had clearly stated that he believes the prescribed uniform is a part of the right of the government to have, and therefore the circular is upheld. On the other side, we saw Justice Dhulia stating that the rights of a girl child should not be let off if case she is not able to get education. On both these points, finally the judges have said we are going to direct the matter to the Chief Justice of India for appropriate directions. It's possible, likely, there will be a different bench or a larger bench that will now be looking into the hijab ban.
This 209-page verdict, composed of two different judgments, puts the case before the doors of the Chief Justice of India.
ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇತ್ತು, 50-50 ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಇದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಬೆಂಚಿಗೆ ವರ್ಗಾಯಿಸುವ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಉಂಟು. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ಮುಖ್ಯ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಕಾದು ನೋಡುವ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್, ಆಶಾದಾಯಕವಾದಂಥ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
For now, the Karnataka order restricting hijabs in schools stands.
There is a split judgment in the Supreme Court today. Ban of hijab will continue. As you know that Karnataka Education Act and rule does not permit any religious items inside the class. So we are very clear that no student can wear hijab inside the class.
And amid the wait for a final conclusion, the sexism is thriving.
और आज अगर इसमें कोई पाबंदी लगाई जाती है कि हिजाब की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वो ये कहते हैं, तो इससे समाज को भी न सिर्फ इस्लाम को बल्कि समाज को नुकसान होगा.
Some are hitting out at the judiciary.
धार्मिक मामलों में इंटरफेयर नहीं करना चाहिए. इस तरह की जो अपीलें हैं उनको सिरे से खारिज करना चाहिए, क्योंकि कोर्ट की अगर पेंडेंसी हम देखें तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा है. कोर्ट को कहना चाहिए सरकार को साफ तौर से कि ऐसे लोग जो इस तरह की अपील डालते हैं उनको कोई ना कोई पनिशमेंट होना चाहिए.
Some view it as an opportunity for vote bank politics.
It is both. It is first choice, it is right to choice, it is right to culture, it is right to privacy, and also it is part of the essential religious practice. It is everything. That is what the Constitution says.
And those calling hijabs an essential practice must watch this revolution brewing. But the issue is larger.
Speaking for myself, I don't know of any legal principle by which somebody can put an impediment. A girl should have a right to freedom of expression. If a girl wants to wear a hijab of her free will versus saying our girls will not be able to study are two very different things. I would love to go to a formal place in jeans because that's my favorite attire. Can I do that? No. Can I walk into a courtroom wearing shorts? No, I can't. Why? Because there is a solemnity. So a particular sense of dress has always been considered relevant. And in a school, a uniform is considered.
The ultimate decision will be made in the courts of law. But for now, the hijab debate has just gotten bigger. Let's debate.
welcoming tonight. Arnab Bagalwadi is the petitioner in the Udupi hijab case. Tanveer Ahmad, Dr. Lubna Kamal and Saida Falak are on one side from Lucknow and Hyderabad. On the other side tonight, Rashmi Samant, well-known activist. Shalini Ali of the women's wing of the MRM, Ishkaran Bhandari, lawyer in the Supreme Court. And my first question goes to the remarkable Mohandas Pai. Mr. Pai, I don't understand it. I don't understand. You say something is essential. See, first, I'm not commenting on the court, so people don't need to freak out here today that I'm going to make comments on the court. I'm extending my brief. I know, I'm not going to do that. I know the limitations and I know responsibilities. But we have a right to debate the issue. So, Mr. Pai, my question to you is this. They say it's an essential practice. And then they say, no, it's a matter of individual choice. It's completely oxymoronic. You say you have to do it. You have to wear it. If you are a Muslim, you have to do it. If you don't wear it, you're a bad Muslim. You're a non-practicing Muslim. You don't believe in the religious practice, which is essential. And then they say, no. It's a matter of choice. Where's the choice? If you have made it compulsory, where's the choice? I don't understand. It's not a choice argument at all. How do you view it? The issue is becoming bigger. Mohandas Pai.
Arnab, what has happened today is really sad because, you must understand, when you say it's a matter of choice, you must have the freedom to make a choice. Where is the freedom for Muslim women to make a choice? All the mullah says you must be clothed fully. Everything should be covered, including your hands, except your eyes. You can see all these images where women are in burqa, covering everything except their eyes. So where is the choice? You are being forced to do something, so you have no freedom of choice. It's bogus to say the freedom of choice. All the mullahs have come out and said, if you want to be a good Muslim, you must wear a hijab, you must wear a burqa, blah, blah, blah. So there is compulsion and there is coercion. You can see the PFI in Saudi Arabia having coercion. You can see the CJ, the campus front of India putting in coercion. Because the coercion, there is no choice. And in Bangalore, I've seen 5-year-old children wearing a hijab, wearing a burqa. Where is the choice for a 5-year-old girl child? Where is the choice for a 10-year-old girl child? Can a 5-year-old girl child make a choice? I don't know how we can make the choice. Who is making the choice? Where is the choice? Choice means you have the freedom to make the choice. If you don't have the freedom to make a choice, there is compulsion. And in this compulsion, you have people fighting back. In Iran, some 20 young children have been shot by the police. In Iran, young girls are going on the streets and saying that we don't want to wear a hijab. Where is the choice? Now the Islamic country, India is becoming an Islamic country where people are being forced, as it is because of certain constitutional issues which have to be solved. Muslim women do not have equal rights like Muslim men. It goes against Article 14, which promises equal rights irrespective of gender. Where are the equal rights of Muslim women? There are no equal rights. No equal right to succession. No equal rights to the law. No equal rights to maintenance. They are unequal, subordinate to the
Muslim women speak.
They are following a medieval law.
There are Muslim women here who can speak for themselves.
And you live in a country which is ruled by the Constitution, then you must make sure that Article 14 is enforced. And Article 14 says every Hindu citizen has the right to equality. When you don't have equal rights, where is the freedom of choice? I think this choice argument given by some people is a bogus argument to compel people to do something. And Arnab, I want to make another point. This is a very narrow issue. What is a narrow issue? It is not about the right to wear a hijab. Nobody is saying you don't have a right to wear a hijab. You can wear a hijab for kingdom come wherever you want in public and do what you want. Nobody can prevent you.
Audio,
lost the line. You cannot wear the hijab, you got to wear a uniform. That is all. And Arnab, one more point. When I went to school, Arnab, there were Muslim boys, Christian boys. We never knew what was Muslims, what were Christians. We're all together.
Exactly.
You're going to have a girl with a hijab who is going to assert she's a Muslim, not like anybody else. So divisions are going to come. We are divided society as it is, and the division is going to come. It's a very disappointing argument. We seem to suddenly become prominent about choice. And
I think
a judge is somebody is getting moved by emotion rather than reason and logic.
Okay, I'm not commenting on the observations of any Supreme Court judge.
Judgment. All I'm saying is what happened today.
No, I'm not either. But I'm saying tonight that some say that this is a pro-choice. Wearing hijab is a matter of choice. Oh, really? You say it's an essential Islamic practice. You refuse to listen to people who say it is not an essential Islamic practice. You say they have no right to speak. You say they're absolutely wrong.
It is an essential Islamic
you
practice.
say they are violating the tenets of your religion. And then you say, as I welcome Shalini Ali on the other side on this debate, before I come to you, Lubna, you're both debating tonight. Let me complete my sentence. Please don't be intolerant to me. Please don't express such extremely radical intolerance on my program. We are pro-democracy. But please don't tell me you offer a choice. Do you offer Shalini Ali a choice? Do you offer Rashmi Samant a choice? Do you offer any Muslim woman a choice? You say, no, you have to wear the hijab.
Thank you so
Then
much for bringing me in, because I'm going to say something. Okay,
Shalini goes first. Shalini, go on.
Let me say something over here right away. See, religion and politics, it's a very old saying, and it goes on that not only have I heard it, but everyone around the universe says the same thing, that religion and politics, both, you can have personal views about it. You're not supposed to be forcing anyone with anything. The hijab was an issue that was being brought about, the hijab issue that we all know about. There is no issue such as a hijab. Now, has anyone stopped you from wearing a hijab when you're going to a shopping mall? Are you stopped from wearing hijab when you're on the streets? Have you been stopped from wearing a hijab when you're going anywhere around? The question that arises here is that, is a hijab mandatory for a girl to wear it in a school or a university or in a complex, in an educational complex, about whose the uniform rules you know about? As a parent, I have been saying it over and over again that I will only, and many parents like me have already done a Reiki about the schools or colleges where our children are studying. Now, if that school and college does not allow a hijab and is giving you a sense of security because of which we are admitting them over there, then why are you making an issue out of it? I mean, in the olden days, people used to wear burqas, and they used to remove the burqas before entering into the college or the school campus. So the same way that can be done even today.
What happens
when you are sending your children for education?
What happens is, Shalini, I'll tell you, I get your point, but I must tell you, and I must allow Lubna and Saida on the other side now. You see, Shalini, what does Lubna want? What do Saida want? They want to ban the school uniform. They don't like school uniform. They want, when children go to school, they want to... No. You want to ban the uniform.
Sindoor is not banned. Why only hijab?
No. So I'll tell you.
Have you...
We are not
against the uniform. Justice Dhulia...
No. You want to ban the school uniform. I understand that.
Why? Have you heard Justice
One of you at a time. You are against the uniform. You don't like the principle of the uniform. You don't like the principle of the uniform. One of you, please.
You need uniformity.
One of you, please. Okay, who's going first?
You need the reason for why
Lubna goes first.
There is because for a sense of uniformity.
You cannot put your words into my mouth.
Lubna,
have you heard what Justice Dhulia said? Have you heard? Have you gone through whatever he has said?
I know there is a split verdict and I will not comment on it.
Do you know what he has said?
I know there is a split verdict and I will not comment on it.
But you must go through it at least. It is just a matter of choice.
Yes.
Whether I choose to wear a miniskirt to school, whether I choose to wear a hijab, or whether I choose to remove hijab. It is my choice.
No. Now you can't. Now I'll tell you one thing.
Uniforms must be abolished. If people can wear whatever they want to school, then it means that there is no uniform. I mean, the point of uniform is to promote a code of decency within an educational institution. That is what a school says. A uniform
has explained that very well.
Is not a matter of choice. It is a matter of uniformity. In madrasas, our girls are allowed to attend without wearing a hijab. Is hijab a choice in madrasas for girls? No, it is mandatory as uniform. Do you know that? Do you know that in madrasas, hijab is imposed upon girls, and it is imposed as a uniform. So if a government school says that it is mandating a certain uniform,
I asked that
everybody
question.
should respect it.
What about 5-year-old?
Okay, so let's get an answer to that. Let's get an answer to that. I think nub of the issue argument, counter argument coming in from Rashmi, and may I, Rashmi, since you've made a strong argument and Shalini has made a strong argument, I would like to ask Saida first and then Lubna. Spend some time trying to extrapolate their thoughts. Saida, a very straightforward question has been asked here by Rashmi Samant. She says, if this is about choice, then do girls in madrasas have the choice whether to wear hijabs or not? Do you offer them that choice there?
It is just a matter of choice. This fight is for the rights of the Muslim hijabi girls.
Really?
That's it. Let them wear, if they want to wear the hijab and go to school, let them go to school wearing the hijab, because bindi is not being banned, sindoor is not being banned, tilak is not being banned, pagadi is not being banned, kada is banned.
Please do not shout with illogical points. There is no one girl that you can go to madrasa without a choice, without a hijab, because it's her choice. Because you mandate it. Now, this is a government school, a government which preaches tenets of secularism.
1 minute, Rashmi, let her have a say. Rashmi, allow me, please. I can't hear both together. You have very strong views, all of you. I'm getting sandwiched in the middle. Allow me to hear every side and I'll come to you. Saida, I repeat my question to you. For you know, this is the beauty with simple questions, they're very short. In a madrasa, is any student, a woman or a young girl in a madrasa, told you have a complete choice? You can come wearing jeans. Are they allowed to do that? Or you can come wearing whatever you want. Are they allowed that choice? Since you are saying we are only for choice, is that choice allowed in a madrasa?
See,
Just asking you. That's a question that Rashmi asks you.
Likewise, like school has a uniform, madrasa also has a uniform. So you cannot come wear anything. You don't want to wear hijab.
So the hijab is a uniform.
You want to wear jeans, in that you can wear hijab,
So now
or you can cover yourself fully. But you cannot come in anything. Likewise, you cannot go in a bikini to school, right? Will bikini be allowed in school? Will jeans be allowed in school?
School and miniskirt, like one of the co-panelists just said. There in a government school, hijab is not a part of government school clothing. Please, a government school is funded by a secular government.
Sweater when the weather is cold.
Rashmi?
See, let me read
This college isn't open. Weather is never cold here. Please do not make illogical arguments.
What do they wear?
It is 30 degrees plus. Always very hot here.
I don't want to make any illogical arguments. I just want a minute. I want to read out something, please.
You're changing your arguments every 2 seconds.
If you don't want to, then don't make them.
Anybody can come wearing whatever, saying they can come in a miniskirt. Next moment you're saying that there is a uniform. Nobody can come in wearing anything. So if you're changing your arguments every 2 seconds, stick to one side and be logical about it. This is young minor girls we are talking about
Nobody
here.
is changing the argument. We are sticking to our point. The point is very clear. Hijab is compulsory in our religion, and if we want to wear it, we will wear it anywhere we want. Nobody has the right to stop us. Nobody has the right to stop girls from getting educated by wearing hijab.
I'm agitated by patriarchal practices.
Okay, let me read out. God made you women. God made you women so that you shall lower your gaze. Do not look at men. Keep your feet closed. Cover your head and do not disclose the garment. Which should be concealed with the veil. This is written in Rig Veda,
with rape and murder because she chooses not to wear a hijab in India. And she is the topper of 12th grade in Kashmir.
Please be silent for a minute.
Her name is Arusa Parvez.
Excuse me.
Okay?
Please
and
be silent
laws
for a
that
minute.
you're bringing, the arguments which you're bringing,
Okay, let us
just
speak, then I will
legitimize the
speak.
kind of rape,
No
threats,
worries.
abuse and harassment that girls like Arusa Parvez get for not choosing to wear a hijab. That is what you're enabling here. Two people's so-called choice has become abuse and harassment for more. The same thing happened during the suffrage for voting rights
Nobody
in the United
here
States.
in India is
It took
forcing
6
anyone to wear the
decades
hijab.
because there were
Instead,
2-3
they are
women
being
who thought it
forced to
was
remove
not
the
up
hijab.
to women
This
to
point
choose
should be made
elected
very clear.
representatives. That is the same thing you're doing. You're enabling patriarchy by legitimizing arguments which have been the source of oppression for women since ages. I can name you People after
What
people
problem
will
you
go
have
through
with
harassment because of this.
Why are you so obsessed with Muslims and hijab?
Do you
What
have
is your
2
problem?
points to say
What is your
about
problem?
Firuza Parvez, who
What is your
was
problem?
abused for not
Why are
wearing
you
a
so
hijab?
obsessed? Why are you so
I'm upset
obsessed
because
with Muslims
Firuza
and hijab?
Parvez
What is
was
your problem?
abused for not
You
wearing
have
a hijab
forgotten
in
your
India.
religion.
And
In your
your
religion,
argument
hijab is there.
legitimize the fact that they need
hijab
to be
is mentioned,
abused.
but you don't follow it. So what should we do? If we want to follow, let us follow. If we want to, let
Wear
us
a
follow.
hijab
If we
in
want to
public
follow,
place,
you
nobody
have
is
forgotten
stopping
your
you from
religion.
doing it.
First look into your
Schools,
religion.
government schools
First read the
have
Rigveda. First read the Rigveda.
We don't bring religion to government
Find out about your
schools.
religion
Sorry,
first.
nobody is bringing
Find out
government
about your religion
religion
first.
to public places. This is a secular country. You can't be, under the name of freedom, bringing it everywhere. You are free to wear a hijab in public places. But if you go to a government school with a uniform, then you have to respect the government schools.
Saida and Rashmi.
And the secularity of this country, which preaches uniform.
Saida and Rashmi,
Do you
may I?
even know the meaning of hijab?
Saida and Rashmi, may I please?
We have to wear
May I
it
step in
everywhere
for a
in
moment,
front of
please?
Maharams.
Saida and Rashmi, thank you so much. Saida, listen to me, Saida. Listen to me. Let's be very logical tonight, okay? Let's not get carried away. I am telling you. Now, let us understand this. That you are basically arguing that it is pro-choice. And you are saying that the uniform is not important.
Yeah.
The hijab is important because it is the choice of the Muslim woman, and at the same time you are contradicting yourself by saying it's an essential religious practice. Then in that case, allow me please to complete. Allow me please to complete. Allow me, and I bring in Ishkaran right now.
Okay.
I'm bringing in Ishkaran also into the debate. I'm bringing in Arnav into the debate. I'm bringing in Tanveer into the debate. Listen to me logically. We have the defense forces in our country. And, now it is so good that so many women are joining our defense forces to serve the country. Now, my question is, there are rules for cadets, including all lady cadets. Okay? Please hear me on this, Arnav. All the lady cadets are required to trim their hair. If they want to keep it long, they need to keep it in a tight bun. These are all rules, right? So that it does not come in the way of physical training. Now, my question would be to you, Arnav. Tomorrow, if somebody says, Arnav, that during military training and while serving in the defense forces, women must wear the hijab. And if you deny women from wearing the hijab, then you're discriminating against their rights. So then, what will we have? What kind of situation will we have? Tomorrow it could equally happen, Arnav, and be logical. Women are joining the police forces, women are joining the CRPF, right? Are you saying that in the CRPF, paramilitary forces, defense forces, army, air force, as well as in the police, women should be wearing the hijab? You see, there is no end to this argument. If you're diminishing the uniform by pushing for religious attire, then that is the danger. You know where to start, but you don't know where to stop. Arnav?
So the aspect of uniformity, I don't see where wearing of the hijab takes away any kind of decency. I don't see where wearing a hijab in class and looking at a fellow student would take away any form of decency. In fact, it adds to the decent attire. It adds to the uniform, if at all. I don't get
then
the
no, it's
aspect
not.
of,
It's not that. Arnav, may I put it differently to you? Intervene, please, if you don't mind. There is no decency argument. Nobody's saying a hijab is indecent or decent or any other dress is decent or non-decent. We are not the moral police. But the question is, think about it. How can external markers of religion, repeat, external markers of religion be forced in institutions which require equality and fraternity? You understand? Like you cannot have people dressed as per their religion in the forces. You cannot have people dressed as per their religion in schools, in colleges. Tomorrow, otherwise, we will be a country of 1.4 billion people, where in the name of choice,
you need to ensure
you are
that
actually
have some
imposing
kind of heterogeneity, some
imposing
kind
the
of
will of a few on
pluralism.
many.
You need to imbibe those constitutional
So you are
values
saying that in the
where
Air
all of those
Force,
things are
women
lost.
in the
All
Air
of
Force,
things
a
are-
Muslim woman should dress as a Muslim. A Hindu woman should dress as a Hindu. You are saying that in the army also, a Hindu should dress as a Hindu, a Muslim should dress as a Muslim. You are saying that is going to introduce diversity. So what you're basically saying is let's not have any military uniform in India. You're saying let's not have any military uniform in India to promote
I never said
diversity.
anything about the military
But
uniform.
that's what is the fallout.
The schools,
But that's the fallout of your
schools
argument.
talk
That's a
about the
singular
uniform. I don't
fallout of
think
your
they've
argument.
taken to the aspect the aspect of a headgear or a hijab.
Now, how do you know it stops in
The
schools?
school
Where does it
uniform
go?
even till now talks
No, where
about
does it go? Where does the
everything
argument stop?
below the shoulder.
No, where does the argument stop? Where does the... No,
Unfortunately,
Arnav,
when we
listen
bring
to
in
me.
religion,
Ishkaran
it
is on the
doesn't seem
debate.
to
Let
be
me get him.
stopping, and that's where the...
Arnab, if I could come in now. Arnab, if we look out and say instead of night it is afternoon, instead of moon it is sun, it will not make it so. There is no consent in this. Let us be very clear. I'm reading a headline.
That's a ridiculous
I am reading a headline. Let me please read a headline. It's very important. It's in all newspapers. Mumbai, man stabs wife to death for not wearing burqa, arrested. That's the headline across the newspapers. 27 September. Somebody wants, they can read it. Let us first please be very clear on what we are doing here. If we say that wearing of hijab is a matter of consent and choice, and so it should be allowed and uniform, you and I should not be there, then why stop at hijab? Why is burqa not a matter of choice? Why should that not be allowed? Or why is other forms of religious dresses not a matter of choice, and why they should not be allowed? And why only in school then? Army, armed forces, everywhere it should be allowed because it's a matter of choice. Because see the dichotomy. One place it was argued it's essential religious practice, a constitutional test that if we don't do this, then we will not be able to practice our religion. But once it reaches Supreme Court, a new argument is advanced that it's only a matter of choice and let people have the choice. Let us be very clear. We have already heard statements outside the court by Mr. Owaisi and others saying it is essential. So in court, you will say it is consent and get an order about choice. But when young girl is going to school, you will say it is mandatory. It is mandated in Islam. And if you do not wear it, then of course you are not following Islam in a proper manner. And how much choice would be there? We have seen when a young girl leaves the house and goes, a Samajwadi MP has already said, besharmi phailegi, behudgi phailegi samaj ke andar. So a young girl will have to not allow besharmi to follow in samaj by wearing a hijab or a burqa. This is what we are reducing girl child education to. And one last line I would say, we cannot have a veto that if you do not pass the laws we want, we will do a Shaheen Bagh jam. If you do not allow us to wear hijab or burqa in school, we will not have girl child education. Let us stop going down to these sort of vetoes and threats. Only then will we have a modern, secular, democratic Republic of Bharat.
Absolutely. You see, Tanveer, this is now becoming very illogical. This is becoming very illogical. Can you wear anything and come to school? Can you wear anything and be in the defense forces? The argument that is being put forth today is that the hijab is a matter of choice, right? Now, if you say hijabs are permitted in the name of freedom of expression, then tomorrow, why in school, anywhere you will say somebody will wear a hijab, somebody will wear shorts, somebody will wear a ghungat, somebody will wear jeans, somebody is going to wear a lungi, somebody is going to have a specific hairstyle, somebody is going to dress according to their choice, and in the name of encouraging diversity, we will be trying to enforce complete chaos. And you know that there is no logic to that. So my suggestion to you is, please accept that it is not about choice. What you're trying to do, what politicians like you are trying to do, is that you are trying to embolden the radicals. And you need to accept that what you're doing is dangerous. If the hijab is normalized as a choice, it will lead to a situation where radicals like the man Iqbal Sheikh, who killed his wife for not wearing a hijab, are emboldened. You are going to embolden that. And you know that. You don't want to modernize the education system. You don't want to ensure a modern formal education system. You have not got an answer to the question, is choice of attire allowed in madrasas if it is the same spirit? Is it allowed in madrasas? Don't tell me, tell your friend Mohandas Pai who's on the debate tonight. Tanveer.
Okay, Arnab, can I answer? Firstly, we need to really congratulate and applaud the great judicial system we have. We have Justice Gupta and Justice Dhulia, two different verdicts. What a beautiful country we are living in. And look, Mr. Mohandas Pai and I, seldom we do agree on points, but still, we end up having discussion for hours together. This is the greatness of this country. But now, bringing the matter about hijab specific, Hijab is a piece of cloth. We all know that, girls, when I was studying, they used to really wear it. And it never was an issue until unless where the current government here in Karnataka, who was absolutely failing to understand and deliver for people's aspiration. And Mr. Mohandas Pai also tweeted against this government and 40% corruption. They really took this issue, and the education minister really took this issue to a level where this was blown out of proportion. And people like MIM and SDP and PFI really took this as a fodder. But one observation which we all need to really understand, what is very important, the girl children's education is absolutely far more important. We all know that, because of wearing of hijab, so many girl children were not allowed to write their exams, and their parents really took away do we want an India which is progressive, which is going to be a Vishwaguru, which is going to become a 6 trillion and 10 trillion economy in future? And our girl children.
So how is wearing a hijab made a precondition for an education? No, you are saying how is wearing a hijab a precondition for an education? How is wearing a hijab a precondition for an education? Are you telling me that a 5-year-old girl or a 6-year-old girl is exercising her choice by wearing the hijab?
Absolutely.
Don't be absurd, Tanveer. Mohan is countering you, Mohan.
How do you inculcate practices? How do you inculcate practices when the child is young? That is when you inculcate a practice. You put a
who inculcates the practice? 1 minute. Why? 1 minute. Counter to you. Listen to my question. I ask you tonight, who inculcates the practice?
The parents.
Who inculcates the practice?
Absolutely, they are the
1 minute. Just 1 minute. Therefore you agree. 1 minute. Mohan. Therefore he agrees it's not the choice of the young girl. It's the choice of the parents. Yes. He counters himself live on the debate at 9:36. Mohandas Pai. Singular moment on the debate. He just countered himself. He contradicted himself in a terrible way. Yes, please. Mohan.
Till a child is in a position to take a decision of her own. That the parents should definitely really come forward. Mr. Mohandas Pai decided where is his son Siddharth going to study, which school is he going to study, is that subject going to be right for his child? Yes, when Siddharth is absolutely ready, a young man, he took his decision. Didn't Mr. Mohandas Pai held his hand for a long way?
Arnab, look, all the mullahs want women to wear a burqa and a hijab. They are not willing for anything else. They want a fundamentally Sharia-based country, which is against our constitution. I think people like Tanveer should stand up against these fundamentalists because they're dangerous, they are killers, they are jihadis, and we've seen what happens when they become extreme fundamentalists. They're very dangerous for this country. This country was divided on the basis of religion, and if these mullahs want something, they can go to the neighborhood, which is their paradise, and do what they want, not in this country. We are defined by the constitution. Let's be very clear. Point number two, children, 6, 7, you put them in a burqa and cover their face. Is there any choice? The choice depends upon your right to make the choice. Do you have a right to make the choice? You are being compelled. But Arnab, let us do one thing, Arnab. This argument is not going to be won because all people who follow Islam, most of them go by the fundamentals like Anand Ranganathan says. Let us have special schools for Muslim girls run by the government. Let them wear a full burqa, cover everything, leave their eyes open and do what they want. Let them get education. So we don't have this bogus argument. You're depriving girls of education because
No, I think we need to counter this argument. No, we need to counter the argument. We need to counter the argument. No, we need to counter the argument.
We have to balance everybody's rights. Now, if 80% of the people say, I don't want to be in a classroom with a girl who wears a hijab, are their rights not important? If 80% of people say, I want a uniform where everybody is equal, are their rights not important? Everybody's rights are important. You have to balance everybody's rights. Not a small section. Insist and say, my way or the highway.
All right. Just one point. Just one point. Ishkaran and Arnab are entering the debate as well. So 2 versus 2 for a moment.
One point. Arnab, can I just make one point?
Arnab, you
are 1 point if I can.
Yeah, Ishkaran, yeah.
Arnab, I usually...
Just 1 minute. Ishkaran. 2 versus 2. Calm down. Ishkaran's turn. I have not asked my
Can I just
question
make-
yet. I'm listening.
Yes. Arnab,
when you ask question to look
Arnab,
at
I
it, you
just,
get into your trap.
1 second, let me finish my point. Arnab, I usually agree with Mr.
Tanvir,
Pai,
wait,
but I
no.
don't agree with, I usually agree with Mr. Pai, but I don't agree with this. We cannot do a hands-off, shrug-off approach. We had a Hindu code bill. We did not bring a Muslim code bill saying Muslim Samaj is not ready yet under Nehru government. We have to reform. We have to bring triple talaq ban laws. We have to bring laws which don't allow polygamy. We have to bring Muslim and women education and not allow a veto that if you don't do this, we will wear hijab or we'll go to separate school. We have to bring them to normal schools where everybody studies without having a veto on how they will wear a uniform. That is where we have to go as a state. We cannot shrug off the responsibility.
We need to point out. We need to point out here. Arnab wanted to counter as well. Arnab, let's hear Arnab from Bangalore. Arnab, you can make your point. Then I'll come in. Yeah.
Mohandas says argument about having more number of students not wearing the hijab and then the only few wearing the hijab. I mean that's not the way to go, because that's exactly antithesis of what our constitution says. Our constitution says that we look at inclusivity, we look at plurality, and he can laugh as much as he wants. He's missing the point that the fact that we need more and more people, all different kinds of people in one class, and that's how we are able to imbibe and accommodate everyone in our class.
So you want
exactly what Justice Dhulia also said in his dissenting opinion.
Right, so you don't want the uniform, according to you, clearly. There's no uniform. Okay, so we should do away, all schools, according to Arnab, should do away with the uniform.
Hijab takes away the aspect of uniform.
But the uniform is optional, so the uniform, Arnab, don't contradict yourself. You are talking about an optional uniform. Yeah. Mohan.
Arnab, the lady said earlier, what is wrong with wearing a miniskirt? Nothing wrong in wearing a miniskirt. What is wrong in wearing a langoti and coming to school? Let them come. Their right, their choice. Where is it going to end? Where is it going to end?
It takes away decency. Where is the aspect of decency in wearing
You have to follow that. If you want to add your compulsory things, compulsory religious practices in that, you can add. Like pagadi or
what is wrong? The nudist will say, it's my right to go naked. Let the naked come to class. A nudist parent will say, I want to be a nude. What is wrong? There's a choice.
But wearing a mini skirt, wearing a bikini definitely is against going
against what?
Against
my
uniform,
choice.
going to school in that.
Man. I want to come naked to class is my choice. Who are you?
Of course, you cannot wear a mini skirt, bikini, jeans and go to school. You have to follow the uniform.
Rules.
But you can add pagadi and hijab that uniform.
You come fully
clothed. There is an aspect of there is an aspect of decency that is required. And I don't see that again.
Who are you to say what is
I'm now bringing Shalini is back on the debate. Shalini is back on the debate.
Compulsory, it is allowed.
Shalini is on the debate. I have a couple of points to make. May I be allowed to do that? 1 minute. Shalini, 1 minute. I'm bringing you on the debate, but don't jump the gun. Just wait a minute. Saida, and can I please have Lubna also on? See Saida and Lubna. Yeah. Saida, now you are associated with the All India Majlis-e-Ittihadul Muslimin, if I am not mistaken. You are, no?
Yeah.
Are you associated with the MIM?
Yes, I'm affiliated. I'm a member of the...
It's all right. You can say yes louder.
Yes, I'm associated with MIM. I'm a member of AIMIM.
Yeah, you are from the... Yes. Now I want to ask you...
Yeah.
I want to ask you that since you are associated with the All India MIM, if hijab is a matter of choice, my question to you is, why did the MIM put up posters saying, Pehle hijab, fir kitab?
That was his personal opinion, and let me react to one of your points you made before, Arnab. Mr. Arnab, please give me a minute without
you just said first the hijab, then education, and you're saying personal opinion.
Statement that was made by them कि पहले hijab और फिर किताब.
You don't believe in choice. You believe in imposition.
That was on.
So what's wrong in that? It is his personal opinion.
Wasallam Saab was
It is his personal opinion.
So
Arnab, I want
the question
a minute,
of being a personal opinion is that first get the facts right. The first word that was revealed to Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Saab was Ikra. So how are you saying that pehle hijab and then kitab? As a matter of fact, you people should have been ashamed of the sentence and you should have condemned that sentence. You should have never allowed that person to make such a personal comment such as this, that pehle hijab or kitab. First you go and read the Quran. First you go and understand the Quran. Then only
No.
5-year-old, 6-year-old girls
Okay.
wearing hijab. I am on a.
I am on a. Shalini, Shalini, 1 minute. Shalini,
First find out what is written in Rig Veda.
Shalini, 1 minute. Shalini, 1 minute. 1 minute, please. And I'm just making a point here, and if I may be allowed to bring in Rashmi and Lubna into the debate. See, Lubna, there is no harm in admitting that you want to impose.
Me to make my point.
Just don't put up this act of being in a pro-choice. You want to impose, people are not listening, and women across the world are telling you, and people like you, who are you to impose your views on us? I am asking Lubna, you're not even letting Lubna speak.
I haven't.
Lubna, why do you want to impose? You tell Rashmi, what do you gain by imposing? Why does a Samajwadi Party leader say that we will chop off people's hands?
I never said that.
The PFI only wants to impose, MIM only wants to impose. And if hijabs are a matter of choice, then why have 200 people been killed for fighting the hijab rule in Iran? Why?
See, it is an Islamic country. They were being oppressed. They were being forced.
So there is no choice.
I haven't said that girls should be forced.
So how can the rules of an Islamic country operate in India?
How can you say that?
I am telling you, how can cruelty and choice coexist? How can listen to me? Lubna, my question to you is, Lubna, listen.
Namaz 5 times a day. No, just listen to me. Now just listen to me. You have spoken. Now just listen to me. I am supposed to offer namaz 5 times a day, but I do not. I offer only twice or thrice a day. So there's my choice. But it remains fundamental to Islam, offering 5 times a day. So why can't you understand this basic thing?
You are contradicting yourself.
It might be a fundamental.
You are contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. You're not.
You are contradicting yourself.
You are not able to understand.
You are. You are.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, not at all. Not at all.
No. Allow me. 1 minute. Just okay. My point. And I'm bringing in. Now I'm bringing Rashmi into the debate. You see, I think cruelty and choice cannot coexist. Shalini, let me get Rashmi in. My point is, Taliban has mandated hijabs in Afghanistan. Where were the so-called liberal brigade? Women are beaten for not wearing the veil in Afghanistan. A woman was beaten so badly that Rashmi, she lost consciousness because she was out of her house without her husband, and they said she's not fully veiled. Where was the progressive lobby? Where were the progressive lobby? I don't want my country to become Afghanistan. Masha Amini, 22-year-old, taken away with force, fell into coma after being tortured by the police. What was her choice?
So who is forcing the girl?
Rashmi, what was her choice?
She had no choice at all.
Rashmi.
Arguments here are just madrasas are forcing girls to wear hijab.
Please make this point very clear.
There is a lot of forcing going on.
Please make this point very clear. Nobody is forcing you to wear the hijab.
Below 18 years of age,
we are
who makes the choice? Unless until you're 18 and above, people do not have, you don't have legal consent. You cannot consent. You're basically living under your parents' roof. So their decision becomes your, choice by compulsion. And these are little girls we are talking about. They have no choice.
Madam,
they have to do what their parents tell them.
Read Rig Veda and find out whether hijab is there in your religion.
What happens is,
then come here
and hijab in my Rig Veda. Sorry, please do not try to bring,
I think we've got a tremendous response to this debate. We have a tremendous response to this debate. And on the other side, viewers, you must not miss, viewers, the views of Harish Salve, who spoke to our executive editor Ridham Anand Bhardwaj on this issue from a legal perspective. That's a wonderful conversation coming up on the other side, followed by my second debate on the charges that have been put against self-styled journalist Rana Ayub. And it's really terrifying, the extent of exploitation that she has allegedly carried out in the name of a tragedy. I mean, this level of financial exploitation of the poorest in this country cannot be tolerated. That and more when I'm back in a few minutes.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Enroll in any of REVA's wide range of courses designed to take on an evolving education and an expanding future. REVA University.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
Last year, we were all geared up.
This network is proof that everything in India is greenfield. Is it time for the Republic Network to do a spectacular intervention in global digital news media or not? It's my passion project. So that is our consecration to making India a superpower.
Now India has a clear goal, Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
In view of the split verdict on hijab by Supreme Court on hijab ban, the apex court has directed the matter to be placed before the Chief Justice of India, Justice U.U. Lalit, for appropriate directions. Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women's are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
It's the Diamond Jubilee of the Indian Air Force and celebrations are on at Jammu and Kashmir.
2 women in Kerala were murdered and buried in a horrific case of human sacrifice. Over 200 families in Assam's Dhimaji district have been affected by floods due to heavy rainfall.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
2021, the Indian economy was all geared up.
We are headed for greatness as a nation. We will be a superpower. If there's something that I want to see in our lifetime, it is to have our best living years as a citizen of a superpower.
Now there's a new goal, Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Karnataka Education Minister.
Charge-sheeted in the charity scam, Republic tracks Rana Ayub's Navi Mumbai house.
We are stationed outside Rana Ayub's residence in Navi Mumbai seeking response on the scathing allegations. But Rana Ayub has so far remained silent.
But why is the Latian silent on this? Debating tonight at 10 p.m. $11,000 placements last year.
At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Enroll in any of REVA's wide range of courses designed to take on an evolving education and an expanding future. REVA University.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
The world supermarket. The world is ours for the taking. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on the hijab controversy in view of the divergence in opinion. Justice Hemant Gupta upheld the Karnataka High Court order, while Justice Dhulia stated that it's a matter of choice.
Last year, we were all geared up.
This network is proof that everything in India is greenfield. Is it time for the Republic Network to do a spectacular intervention in global digital news media or not? It's my passion project. So that is our consecration to making India a superpower.
Now India has a clear goal, mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
In view of the split verdict on hijab by Supreme Court on hijab ban, the Apex Court has directed the matter to be placed before the Chief Justice of India, Justice U.U. Lalit, for appropriate directions. Karnataka Education Minister B.C. Nagesh welcomed the Supreme Court verdict and stated that the ban on hijab to continue in classrooms across Karnataka.
We welcome whatever the judgment we have received today from the Supreme Court. But we had expected a better judgment because, as you know, that throughout the world, women are demanding not to wear hijab, not to wear burqa.
It's the Diamond Jubilee of the Indian Air Force and celebrations are on at Jammu and Kashmir.
2 women in Kerala were murdered and buried
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 10, powered by Reva University, Greenply and Mario Rusk.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Republic Media Network's executive editor Ridham Anand Bhardwaj spoke to King's Counsel, former Solicitor General, Senior Advocate Harish Salve. This is a very timely, invigorating and intellectual conversation on the hijab row that you wouldn't want to miss. Here's a long clip from that chat.
Today we see a split verdict in the Supreme Court. The one thing that needs to be understood is what is going to happen ahead. Is there going to be a larger bench? All several questions we're going to be asking with one of our most favorite lawyers, a senior advocate in the Supreme Court and Queen's Counsel, Mr. Harish Salve. Mr. Salve, as we welcome you on the show after very long, the first thing we want to ask you, sir, the Solicitor General made several arguments in the court appearing for the Karnataka government. One of them was political, but it was very pertinent that PFI, which is now banned, was actually behind the protest that broke out in February.
Why am I not surprised? There's a underlay of all this, of orthodoxy, and these are all strands of the same thread. So I'm not surprised. And then elements like PFI prey on opportunities like this. So.
Yes. Sir, when we come to the essential question of hijab, there was a statement made in the Supreme Court by Senior Advocate Ahmadi when he said, if hijab is not there, the girls will not be allowed to go to colleges. Isn't that the very question, that the problem is the orthodoxy that's being seen with women?
See, to my understanding, prescribing a uniform from time immemorial has been the prerogative of a institution as long as it is reasonable. Should there be a uniform is a matter of policy. Can there be a uniform is a matter of law. And as a matter of law, there can be uniform regulations, especially at school. There is a strong argument for diversity. There is a strong argument for allowing certain elements of appearance or dress which mark your religion. That's a matter of policy. As a matter of law, if something is essential to your religion, that is protected. Analogies are misplaced. You can't say if a Sikh is allowed a turban, why is some other community not allowed some other form of dress? Mm-hmm. So you have to go to the principle, and the constitutional principle is it essential for professing your faith, or is it a matter of secular? Now, if you're going for secular education and you're asked to wear a uniform, I don't see, unless it is established, and I don't know sufficient details of what material was placed to show that wearing a hijab is essential to the religion of a Muslim. I mean, you have Islamic countries where women don't wear a hijab.
Precisely.
So I don't know. But this kind of an approach saying, we will not bend, we will not allow our daughters to study unless you change your rules. Mm. I hope this does not ever prevail as a legal argument.
Mm. So we've spoken to several Islamic scholars and they've said that hijab is not an essential religious practice in Islam. On the basis of just documents or analysis, can this happen? Because I remember B.R. Ambedkar had once stated that our Muslim sisters also need the right to have equality.
See, I'm not a scholar of anything, and least of all Islam. So I would not comment on what is the essential religious practice. Speaking for myself, at heart I'm a liberal, and I personally believe the sooner we move away from this kind of a system and move more to assimilate society, which is the need of the hour, it is better. But then that's a matter of policy. That's my personal belief. Whether as a matter of constitutional right a hijab is protected is a matter of constitutional law. And there I believe Justice Gupta has taken the view that it does not. I have not read it, but I believe the dissenting judgment says this will take away the child's right to study.
That's right.
So tomorrow, if there is some other unreasonable demand made by a community saying, if you do not allow this, we will not allow our girls to go to school. Tomorrow, and I'm just running the extreme point, somebody says, unless you make a particular language compulsory, we will not allow our girls to go to that school because our girls must be taught that language, and if that is not the primary language, we will prevent our girls from going to school. What will you do?
Yes.
So this kind of an argument, it's an argument, there's a phrase for it, it's an argument in terrorum. You can't, speaking for myself, I don't know of any legal principle by which somebody can put an impediment. A girl should have a right of freedom of expression. If a girl wants to wear a hijab of her free will versus saying our girls will not be able to study are two very different things. I would love to go to a formal place in jeans because that's my favorite attire. Can I do that? No. Can I walk into a courtroom wearing shorts? No, I can't. Why? Because there is a solemnity.
Yes.
So a particular sense of dress has always been considered relevant. And in a school, a uniform is considered from times immemorial relevant. In that, if the policy of the government is that we must do away with all differences between students and they must all dress the same, unless there is a religious compulsion, I do not see on what other legal principles such a policy can be challenged. I repeat, should there be such a policy is a matter of policy. But the legality of such a policy is entirely another matter.
Yes. Mr. Salve, I remember you in the Jadhav case, and I'm just taking a deroute here because I remember your arguments even there in The Hague were extremely clear and they were on all legal facts. Even now you've come to the butt of the matter, that is wearing a uniform that is prescribed. I also remember the Lal Batti case where you very famously ensured that the VIP culture goes out. For Muslim women who want similar equality that is there in Iran, they want this anti-hijab revolution to happen, how can we take this forward?
See, that's a matter for the community. That is a matter for the community. But if a government says, I am going to help by not allowing a particular uniform or prescribing a particular uniform, unless you go deep down and establish that it offends against the essence of a religion, I don't see any constitutional principle on which a government can be prevented from achieving this.
And my last question to you, we've seen the triple talaq case which has been struck down in India and women have been hailing it. Whether it's other cases where the right to pray has to be given to women, isn't it also time that they are liberated from something like the hijab, which is not even an essential religious practice?
Rhythm, I remember from back in the day when I was arguing the minority rights case. I remember reading in the Constituent Assembly debates, there used to be a very, very senior member of the Constituent Assembly from the Islamic community. He was so senior that they would allow him to sit and speak. I'm forgetting his name. And he had proposed to Ambedkar that you must have an express bar in the Constitution against any member of any community wearing clothes which identify himself with his community. Ambedkar said these are matters which society will develop. We cannot bar it constitutionally. I think in today's time that will make interesting reading.
Yes, and sir, lastly I want to ask you, a lot of people are talking about secularism and religion. They say religion has to, the country and secularism has to be there despite religions. Religion has to be tolerant, but we can't make this a religious issue here.
See, secularism and religion have no tension, unless you want to use religion as a vote bank. Religion is a matter of my personal belief. Secularism is, in secular affairs, the state is religion blind. And there has to be, I've always felt there has to be this thick brick wall of China between the state and religion. And as long as we follow that principle, secularism and religion have no tension.
Do you think any political parties are trying to take this issue forward?
You invariably ask me a political question, and my answer to you for the last decade has been,
no,
don't ask.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Salve, for being with us. As always, it's a pleasure, and we hope you lots of success, and hopefully you're back on an interview with us soon.
Thank you.
And now moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, exactly 245 days back, we reported on the very worrying case of the charity scandal centering around self-styled journalist Rana Ayub. It's really a horrible case because the nature of exploitation that has happened allegedly of the poorest and the most vulnerable here is quite shameful. And we told you how this so-called journalist is being investigated by the ED for using charity funds for herself. Tonight, the charge sheet has laid bare the extent of her alleged scam. Here are the details, and then we debate.
When the entire world was battling COVID and poorest of the poor were finding it difficult to make ends meet, when people were braving floods in different parts of the country, a certain somebody who identifies herself as a journalist allegedly saw it as an opportunity to cheat those in need. Enforcement Directorate has filed a charge sheet against Rana Ayub in connection with investigation into her 3 fundraiser charity campaigns on Keto platform, where she claimed to raise funds for COVID and flood affected, but allegedly spent the donations on herself.
Enforcement Directorate in its charge sheet against Rana Ayub made some sensational revelations. 3 fundraiser campaigns started by journalist Rana Ayub, all of them on an online platform called Keto. Starting from April 2020, she managed to raise about 2.69 crore rupees. But investigation reveals that she only used 29 lakh rupees.
Roughly 89% of the public funds that were collected in the name of donations were allegedly misused by Rana Ayub.
The Enforcement Directorate says this in black and white. Rana Ayub launched the 3 campaigns with the sole aim of cheating the public and acquired the proceeds of crime in the form of FDs and bank balances and projected them as untainted. The charge sheet also goes on to say that Rana Ayub used these charity funds for her own personal use.
When Enforcement Directorate initiated the attachment process and started the investigation, Rana Ayub used the foreign media to cry victim and evaded answering Republic questions.
We have some information regarding this this order, and I think the allegation is that some of the money that you collected in some of the campaigns, specifically I think 3 campaigns, was used for personal expenses. So wanted to get your response on that.
I will not be able to respond to anything right now unless I have seen it myself.
We are stationed outside Rana Ayub's residence in Navi Mumbai seeking response on the scathing allegations. But Rana Ayub has so far remained silent.
With the scale of the scandal becoming public, can the lobby continue to remain silent on the charity scandal? Let's debate.
Ashwini Mudgil, Kartikeya Tanna, Rajat Sethi and PKD Nambiar versus Kapil Madan, Vivek Srivastav, Adil Nazir Khan and Manasvi Thapar. Now, any form of a financial crime is terrible, but you see, Kartik, when the financial aggrandizement is happening during the peak of the COVID pandemic and she is raising money from well-meaning donors and then pocketing the money for herself, which means you are saying you are raising money in the name of COVID, taking the money in the name of the poor and the vulnerable and taking these crores and putting it into your own accounts. It's just remarkably immoral. Immoral is the word. Unethical.
Right.
Unethical. I can't believe it that someone can actually do something as low as this, allegedly.
No, she has not.
Karthik,
She has not used it.
Yet this lobby is hanging on for dear life to Rana Ayub. Karthik, what else will they forgive? What else will this lobby forgive, Karthik?
Everything, because those who fight for so-called secularism, anti-fascism and communalism, for them, they have 9 lives, even more than cats, actually. And their, secularism is a defense in the Indian Penal Code or any other criminal law. So, it's like we cannot investigate it at all. That is the problem. With Rana Ayub, this is not a surprise, because if you remember, in your channel covered it extensively, Teesta Setalwad's own misapplication, of funds that were received is a glaring example. And, this has been happening in India as well. Even a digital platform, I don't want to name them, but, they just goofed up, with their report on Meta, censoring posts allegedly at the directions of the BJP IT cell. And, yet it continues to ask, lakhs for donations. But you can't, and Black Lives Matter, the organization in the US, there's irregularities there as well, where the money has been, allegedly siphoned off for personal uses, building a palatial home and, and giving it to family members, etc. But as long as, they're fighting the cause of secularism, they're fighting the cause of, anti-fascism and communalism, anything that any investigative agencies does against them is a problem, because their ideology itself is a defense to their crimes. That's the problem. And the most conniving part, sorry to interrupt, but the most amazing part of this is Rajat, and I'd like to bring in Kapil as well and Vivek as well. The most amazing part of this entire case is that these are the people, Kapil and Rajat, who say that the Modi government was not doing enough to fight COVID, right? But while the government was doing its best and successfully fighting COVID, these people, Rajat, were raising money in the name of COVID, taking crores from unsuspecting people, cheating them, diverting the funds from one account to the other, and becoming crorpatis in the name of COVID, and then they were writing articles in international media criticizing the government. The funds has been reported as of now.
What do you mean the EDS filed documents?
No misuse.
What do you mean it has not been reported? Just because mainstream media doesn't report doesn't mean it hasn't happened. The ED is investigating it not just because of whims and fancies of someone.
And she knows how vulnerable she is. Sir, she knows how vulnerable she is with the fastest government sitting over here, and she's never going to do something very stupid that she gets caught.
But in the same fascist government, there are courts, sir. There are courts. She can go to the court and quash this entire proceeding right
has
away.
been filed by an organization called Hindu IT Cell.
There has to be some substance to it.
No, the FIR has been filed from Ghaziabad by Hindu IT Cell.
So Vivek,
what are the credentials of Hindu IT Cell?
Vivek,
what is their motive?
One point, Vivek, one point. I'll go only factual, viewers. I'll go only factual. I have no time for phrases from WhatsApp University. Rajat, here facts of the case. Karthik, 1 minute. Let me move on to Rajat. Karthik. Let me move on to Rajat. People are asking tonight, Arnab, can you explain the case? People are saying, can you explain the case in a very simple way? Of course, you'll be allowed to respond, but I should be allowed to just explain to the viewers, Kapil, for a minute, what this case is about. And then you will debate with Rajat. And I'm sure you'll meaningfully confront each other. What is this case, viewers? Simple. There is a COVID crisis. A person senses an opportunity. They use some online platform to say, I'm going to do a lot of good work, give us money. People give money. Money comes, money flows, lots of money comes, crores comes. You keep away 89.3% for yourself. You allegedly use 10.7%. And in a moment, it becomes your financially most profitable year. So while people are dying, you are getting richer by fooling others, by fooling people. Now, Rajat, if you ask this person, what are you doing? They're going to say, oh, I'm anti-Modi, I'm anti-Modi, I'm anti-Modi. All this is happening because I'm anti-Modi. Rubbish. Exploitation.